Holy Ghost is on the move.
Yeah, Firebirds had a lot of momentum.
Right from the jump for the Firebirds, who look really good.
Hello everybody and welcome to the Dwin Athletic Complex at Holy Ghost Prep, where we have live Varsity Lacrosse action between the Holy Ghost Prep Firebirds and the Archbishop Ryan Raiders. I'm Caden Stewart.
And I'm Sayed Nakfi.
And with Sayed making his broadcasting debut for lacrosse, we'll go to him for his initial thoughts on the game between the Firebirds and the Raiders.
Looks like it's going to be an intensive game if you ask me. Look, Holy Ghost also they do have a losing record to start. 4-7, I'm pretty sure. 5-7 is actually the record. So Jude Walsh actually had a legendary game yesterday, scoring like 6 goals or something like that. I hope Jude Walsh can also perform a very good performance like he did that last game.
Say Walsh and Tommy Walsh, unrelated, but they have carried the Firebird offense the last 2 games, leading them to 2 wins in their last 3 home games, with their latest one being a 10-2 rout. Whistle has sounded, so we'll go to the sidelines for the national anthem and some pregame announcements from Mr. Whartonby and Coach Whartonby of the lacrosse team, one of the assistant members of the staff. We'll be back with you after the national anthem concludes.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Dwin Athletic Complex in the Fran Nick Memorial Field on the beautiful campus. The Holy Ghost for this afternoon's game featuring the Raiders of the Archbishop Ryan and your Holy Ghost Prep Firebirds. Holy Ghost Prep provides good sportsmanship to student athletes, coaches, and spectators. They request your cooperation by supporting the Firebirds, opponents, and officials in a positive manner. Profanity, racial, sexist, or other abuse comments or other intimidating actions directed at officials, student athletes, coaches, or team representatives will not be tolerated, and anyone violating these rules will be asked to leave the campus. We ask you now to please rise, face the American flag nevermore for the singing of the national anthem by Holy Ghost Prep Zone J.J. McDonough.
Thanks to JJ McDonough for that rendition of the National Anthem. We're back here at Holy Ghost Prep, where we get ready for preliminary activities between the Holy Ghost Prep Firebirds and Archbishop Ryan Raiders Lacrosse. For now, we'll go for a recap. As I said before, the Firebirds have won 2 of their last 3 games at home. They have now a 5-7 overall record to enter into the heart of the season, and at the home stretch at the same time, with 5 games upcoming in the next 2 weeks. With the Ryan Raiders, they enter a 2-3 record on a 3-game skid, including losses to Pope John Paul and Conwell Egan. For today, your Ryan Raiders will be in their typical road all-black uniforms with some red trim and the white numerics. For the Firebirds, it'll be the all-white with the blue helmets and blue numbers.
And I gotta say, I really love both uniforms, I'm not gonna lie. Ryan's is looking good, and same with Holy Ghost. I do have to go with Holy Ghost, however. I got Ghost winning this game, obviously.
Yeah, nice little contrast, especially if you're a commentator, with the white numbers on black and the dark blue on white. We'll get the starting goaltender matchup once they are formally announced and in position. For now, we will take a break as the both teams meet at the center logo and go over the opening ceremonies for this game. So both teams will send their starting lineups out. Your starting goaltenders for today's game, or for the Firebirds, it is a sophomore and usual sophomore in Seamus Cranley, number 56. For the Raiders, it is number 23, Tom Donahue. The Firebirds rep at the logo will be Tommy Walsh taking the opening face-off, and Walsh is nearly knocked down to the turf off the bat. He wins the face-off, though. That's something the Firebirds have struggled with early on. But face-off wins usually lead to goals, and that's what the Firebirds have needed to do early on, as they're coming off a game where they led by 4-0 off the bat, and three of those 4 coming in the first half, in which they shut out their opponent.
I feel like if Holy Ghost wants to do whatever it takes to succeed to get a winning record, they have to at least win 4 games to hopefully enter the playoffs, as it seems. Right now they have a losing record, but you never know. This is the heart of the season. Anything can change right now. Let's hope Ghost manages to win.
So that last game coming against Archbishop Wood, and it was a 10-4 final score. DeChico takes the first shot of the game, that one eaten up by Donahue. And Donahue plays it on a bounce to a teammate and defenseman in Carter Buccello. And Buccello's pass goes out of bounds, but the Raiders are right there by the sideline to keep it in bounds. We'll see who won the race, though, but the Firebirds are fighting for their side. Looks like Jude Walsh should go over and pick it up. Walsh coming off, as Syed said, a 6-goal outing. An obvious career high for him. One of the top. Oh, sorry, you can go.
Yeah. I feel like 1-game stretches don't cut it, in my opinion. Especially if you have a losing record, you gotta at least have some great momentum after it. Let's hope Jude Walsh can provide that today, and if not, let's hope that he provides great team assistance so that Ghost can get the win today.
So Josh Roberts takes the pass off the inbound from Jude Walsh. She goes to Jake Gardner, making only his 3rd game now back in after returning from a wrist injury, which occurred in the preseason. So Gardner underhands and keeps his inbounds to Gavin McDonough. McDonough 2 games ago recorded his 100th point of the year in a 2-point outing, which scored a goal and assisted one. This being your play of the game for that night. Jude Walsh pump fakes, cuts back towards the middle, fires a shot. That one eaten off the post by Chris Dalton. He got the block. Now Dalton centering Pete out in front, and he scored. It's Brady Flynn breaking the scoreless tie early. It's 1-0 Firebirds as Flynn knocks it on the doorstep.
The freshman, man, just because he's short doesn't mean he can't do anything different than a normal human being. He's tough, and he's legendary for that. Shout out Brady Flynn.
So Flynn has done a lot of facilitating around the ball. I'm not sure if that's the right term, but he's done a lot of guiding the ball around and has gotten multiple assists. He's coming off a 2-point game, a goal and an assist against Wood, and now has goals in back-to-back games for the first time this season. That first goal comes 1 minute and 50 seconds into play here at Holy Ghost, so it's a 1-0 Firebird lead. The face-off after that goal, though, is won by the Ryan Raiders, and their first shot on the first possession sails over the net. It's Damian Morgan winding up with it. Ryan closest to the out-of-bounds line, so it's Pat Foy on the inbound. Foy goes right into Craig Webster. Webster around the X. Webster in close coverage by Lippy. Now he fires that one out. Damian Morgan. Morgan towards the middle. That one's picked off. Chris Kopratowski with the interception. And Kopratowski floats one down to DeChico. And that one actually unable to be corralled in by the now elected senior class rep in student government, DeChico. And that one goes out of bounds. So the Raiders will inbound it along their side of the bench. Chris Dalton takes the first pass. Dalton takes a shot, and that was a big one laid down by Mike Malpezzi, who played a very physical game against Wood, had 3 hits to his name on the day. Coming off the hit, shot is lofted on net by Damian Morgan, but it sails wide. So Cranley, while seeing some challenges here, has not had to face one head-on. 0 shots on goal, 2 shot attempts, though, for the Ryan Raiders. Pat Foy brings the ball back in, trickles around the crease, fired a shot after the whistle, though, so would not have counted. Cranley makes the save. And it looks like the Raiders had a late substitution coming back on. So it looks to be a miscommunication on behalf of Ryan. No personnel change necessary. The Firebirds, though, do have a change back behind the net, or back behind the play, around the offensive net. Here's a shot out in front, and Cranley makes his first save of the game. He's 1 for 1 as a shot came from Chris Dalton out in front, but now a quick interception by the Raider defense. Here's Dalton towards the middle, tic-tac shot, and that one saved by
Cranley.
Cranley slams the door, prevents a 5-hole goal for Quinn Kennedy. And DeChico moving down the sideline. He's in open space. He floats that one now to Jake Gardner. Gardner fake to charge in. He'll back out and wait for some more help as Jude Walsh gets his first pass of the game. Walsh down to the corner near Flynn, the only goal scorer so far, about 4 minutes in. Flynn cuts it back. Over near the sideline, stays in play. He has McDonough open. He goes right to him, and McDonough is forced into the corner. Can't be held there for long, though. McDonough already towards the middle of the field. He fires to Gardner. Gardner on net, and that one a 1 bounce, which took a weird hop off the turf in front of the net and sailed wide of Tom Donahue. HGP will retain. Here's Jude Walsh. Or pardon me, Josh Razzler. Walsh still at the top. Razzler behind the net. Fires one to the top to Tommy Walsh. Walsh towards the middle, trying to find a lane in. He does, but the shot goes wide. Donahue may have got a stick on it, but once again, it's the Firebirds by that side. And it's Razzler bringing it right back in. Razzler pump fakes to Flynn, tries to do it himself, gets taken down, lost the ball, and the Raiders have it. Steal by Jaden McNichol. McNichol up to Chris Dalton. And Dalton down the near side. Applying some pressure on Dylan McManus, the defenseman who had an assist in the last game. Dalton winds up on the return. His pass towards the middle, towards Damian Morgan is knocked down. The Firebirds have it. Turnover for Ryan early on. Here's Tommy Walsh. Walsh trying to find Bobby Williams, a long pole midfielder, but that one goes over his head. There's Damian Morgan across the midfield line now. On the challenging possession by the Raiders. Morgan through the middle, takes a few stick checks, so is forced to back off. Still applying close coverage is Gavin McDonough. Craig Webster down by the corner as Ryan looks to get another opportunity on net. More good defense though by Ryan Lippy, who was named all-county defense a few weeks ago. That one though turned away by Cranley. Never really a shot on goal as the Firebird defense prevented any open looks. The Raiders hold on to it though. Eating a hit from Malpezi is Burns, but delivering one is Dylan McManus out in front.
I have to be honest, besides that goal from Brady Flynn, I feel like this game has been really good defensively by both teams, both Ryan and Holy Ghost.
And neither side has really allowed that many open looks. Even the goal by Flynn was just a fluke bounce out in front of the net, which gave Flynn an open door. Here's a shot, and as we say that, a goal scored by Chris Dalton.
I still won't switch my word. I believe both teams have been playing great defense, and even though that goal may have just debunked my word, I'm pretty sure Ghost can probably come back from this.
The equalizer comes from Chris Dalton. It's a 1-1 game with 5:41 to play in the first. 6:20 gone in the first frame of 12. And we'll see our third face-off of the game. A 1-1 ball game with 5:40 on the dot to play. Sean Schubert was the representative for the Ryan Raiders on the face-off, but subbing off behind him is Aaron Martinez. Schubert's tripped up, so the Firebirds are going to fight for the loose ground ball, and they win it with DeChico. DeChico through the logo with some speed. Not enough numbers, though. Now he goes to the side. Walsh, he scores!
That was a great setup by DeChico. And Jude Walsh manages to get that. Or was that Tommy Walsh? I'm pretty sure that was Jude Walsh. Yeah, Jude Walsh, had an amazing game last time, and now he's having a fantastic game currently right now. 2-1 Firebirds.
DeChico's legs set up the second goal of the game for the Firebirds. He goes flying through the logo, checks it down to Walsh, who fires a shot into the top corner. And since the defensive comment, there have been 32 goals in 30 seconds. It is a 2-1 game as either side has scored one in that time.
I feel like that's just bad luck in general. I don't know why I said that. Both teams are fighting for the ball right now.
And so ground ball off the face-off. Malpezi got his skin in there looking to fight for the ball, but a timeout was called by the Firebirds before official possession could be deemed. And we have our first stoppage of play in the game. 5:10 to play in the first. It's a 2-1 ball game in favor of the home team, Holy Ghost. Coming out of the first timeout, which was called by the Firebirds, is the Ryan Raiders with possession. DeChico is shaken off, going down the near side, and going down on the near side. Pat Foy takes the pass, and Foy drops it off to Liam Carr. Carr on the field for the first time today out of the timeout. Carr, Damian Morgan. Morgan, one bounce shot, swatted away by Seamus Cranley.
I believe that is his third save of the game so far.
So far, 3 for 4 is Cranley. 2-1 lead for the Firebirds. The Raiders, though, still on offense as they won the race out of bounds. So Chris Dalton with a goal. Has it. Dalton to the top. Pat Foy. Foy to Damian Morgan. Morgan in the middle. Shot. He scores. Morgan gets on the scoreboard the first time today. It's a one bouncer on the bottom left side of Seamus Cranley. And we're even at 2 once again with 4:14 to play in the first.
Gotta admit, that defensive comment I made, quite frankly, like 2 minutes ago, kind of took a quick turnaround as it's been back and forth with goals from both Ryan and Ghost.
It's now a 2-2 game. 3 goals have been scored since we agreed the defense was the strong point in this game. The Raiders win their third straight face-off that has helped them cut the lead, or even the game back up at 2, and remove their 1-goal deficit from early on. Here's Tommy Walsh towards the middle. Walsh, McDonough. McDonough filters it down to Flynn. Flynn tried to find the missing link in Walsh. That one being Jude, but he could not bring that one in. So the Firebirds will reset at the top with new numbers. Here's DeChico. DeChico just in front of the emblem. Fires one up high to Gardner. Gardner to Tommy Walsh. Walsh through the middle. Toward down low to Flynn. Shot. Flynn, did it find the back of the net? It did. Flynn now has 2 goals in the first quarter. It is his first multi-goal half of the season and his second multi-goal game of the year. It is now a 3-2 Firebird lead as Flynn has been the MVP so far. .312 to play in the first. A flag flew, and so the Firebirds will be called for the delayed penalty.
I feel like with Ryan, they seem to take like a more stalled out time. They seem to like actually like deciding to plan like what to do. That's why they spend most of the time where the goal for Ghost is. Meanwhile, with Holy Ghost, which has been working for them, they've just been going instantly at it. But when Brady Flynn scored his second goal, in my opinion, I feel like they've taken more time. They strategized the way how they're going to do it, and it turned out to be a goal. I feel like if Holy Ghost just has the same mentality as Ryan, but with a little more aggressive as they usually are, I feel like this could be a quick turnaround for Ghost, and Ghost can win this game pretty effectively.
Yeah, slow-paced offenses were this trend early on in Ghost Lax games this year, as a game against the Shipley School went scoreless for the whole first half. And that one was due to, in large part, to not a lot of high-paced offense and very few opportunities on net. Ryan, though, looking even the game here at 3 early on in this first quarter. 2:47 to play in that first frame. Ryan Lippy will win the loop ground ball. Lippy trying to loop one in on Walsh. That door is closed quickly. Lippy now has that one knocked out of his stick. Maybe an intentional drop-off to Flynn, but regardless, it backfires. Lippy, though, not wanting to let it go just yet. And now the Fires win it right back with Tommy Walsh. Walsh and Brady Flynn. Walsh trying to do it himself. On net. Flag flies. Walsh lost the ball, and the Ryan Raiders will too, as they are called for the delayed penalty as they picked it up.
That was some great heart from what I saw from Firebirds. Even though the ball did drop, they were showing some heart out. Like, did you see Brady Flynn doing all of that, man? That was actually insane.
Yeah, Flynn and Tommy Walsh able to get in front of the net. Neither one able to get a clean shot off, but Tommy Walsh, beneficiary of the strip and penalty. 2:18 to play in the first. 3-2 Firebirds lead. Gavin McDonough will bring the ball right back in. McDonough down to Tommy Walsh. Walsh to Flynn. Josh Razzler comes on as an extra attackman for the Firebirds. Flynn tried to find Walsh out in front. Instead, he finds Razzler. Took a shot. That one was saved by Donahue. And Jack Dunn brings it down now for the Ryan Raiders. Dunn towards the middle. It's picked up by Chris Dalton. Dalton on net. That one found iron. And it bounces back off. Gardner takes a small hit, knocks it out of play. It'll be Ryan Ball. And it stays here as Gardner was the one that kicked that out. Chris Dalton shuffles the ball in, trying to get past Gardner. He cannot for the moment. Dalton taking stick checks left and right, toe-tapping the sideline. Now is knocked out of play. Timeout calls are coming from the Ryan sideline. Initially they went unanswered, but now finally a timeout is on the board for the Ryan Raiders. Each side has used one in this first quarter. We're through 10 and a half. 90 seconds to play in the first frame. 3-2 Firebirds on top. Minute 20 to play in the first quarter. The Firebirds leading by 1 over the Ryan Raiders, 3-2. Seamus Cranley will eventually take the pass from his defenseman Ryan Lippy, who forced the ball into the corner. Now he gives it up to Bobby Williams. Williams through the middle, cutting it back. Now through the emblem at center field. Williams all the way through, trying to get to the net himself. He's unable to. He fires it off to Walsh. Walsh behind the net to the multi-goal scorer in the quarter, and Brady Flynn. Flynn McDonough, one bounce shot, that one just wide. It goes off to the right of Donahue. Brought back in by Flynn with 45 ticks of the clock remaining. Flynn being boxed out. He fires to McDonough. McDonough shot, that one saved. Back-to-back attempts by Gavin McDonough. Donahue reads them both well and makes one save of the two. About 30 seconds to play now with Flynn. Flynn to Walsh. Walsh towards McDonough. That one was knocked away. The Raiders trying to fight for the loose ball. And it's knocked back towards the net in with Brady Flynn there. 15 seconds to play. Flynn still trying to fight for the ground ball. Jude Walsh eventually is forced to turn it over. The Ryan Raiders are back on top. Josh Razzler applying good defense. He fires a pass to the middle. Picked up by Lippy. 1 on the clock. Lippy to Walsh, and no shot will get off by Tommy Walsh. That'll be it for the first quarter.
in my opinion, some of the shots that Holy Ghost is taking right now, besides the 3 goals, I feel like most of it was just like shot chucking necessarily. Like I feel like most of the shots that Ghost has been taking has been more instantaneous without thinking through. With Ryan, however, they were controlling like the way how they were pacing on the offense. But defensively, after I said that comment, they've been nowhere to show for it. So I have to say right now, it is looking like to be a very close game on the marking. But if Ghost can just figure out not to shoot as much shots and just think the shot through. I know it sounds good on paper to shoot more goals, but what's the point of shooting more goals if the shots don't hit?
Yeah, the Firebirds definitely had a lot more quick stick attempts rather than waiting and letting something materialize. But overall, the Firebirds have made the most of it. It's a 3-2 lead for the home team with the second frame of 12 up and coming. Face-off is won by the Firebirds. They will take over on offense to start the second quarter. Only 5 seconds ticked off of it, and immediately the Firebirds whistled for a violation. So the Ryan Raiders take over, and now the Firebirds with a consequential steal. So just like that, the Firebirds have the ball once again. Gav McDonough out in front of one bouncer, and that one wide. So McDonough has taken 3 shots in a row for the Firebirds. 2 of them on net, and both of those stopped by Donahue. McDonough takes the next pass from Flynn, comes right back in. McDonough shuffles the ball back up to the top in Gardner. Gardner goes down low to Jude Walsh, who filters it back to Flynn, and the Firebirds around the horn. McDonough by that far side, next to the Firebird bench. Here's Gardner on the charge in, spinning away. Gardner has that one stripped away. Ground ball is picked up by Jaden McNichol. McNichol around the top of where the goalie crease would be, but for soccer at least, that one picked up now by the Raiders. Here's Chris Dalton. Dalton down the field. It goes off the helmet of Pat Foy and out of play. And Seamus Cranley, the goalkeeper, is there for the Firebirds to win them possession. Chris Kopertowski moving it back in on defense. He fires to Cranley, who's well out of his own net. Cranley back to Kopertowski. Up the field to Tommy Walsh. Walsh splits the defense. Walsh toward the corner, fires a shot. Angle X, and that one goes over the head of Flynn as well, but Flynn wins the race out of bounds, or at least he thought he did. Ryan does instead, and Ryan takes over. Here's Damian Morgan. Morgan taking stick checks left and right. Morgan gets a shot on goal. It's saved by Cranley. It was loose in the crease for a moment, but Cranley reads it well off the bounce. Now Kopertowski down the field. He fires to Mike Malpezzi. Malpezzi to Jude Walsh. Walsh around the outskirts of the box. Up near the logo. Walsh. Out now to Jacob Tuza. And Tuza will hold on to the ball around the logo. Tuza back to Razzler. Razzler back to Tuza, so either side exchange passes. Jude Walsh down low. Walsh to Flynn. Flynn to McDonough. McDonough back up to Razzler. HGP around the horn. They have a slow-paced offense now. Up by 1. Walsh by the near side. To Tuza once more. Now to Razzler, fires a shot, and he scores. Josh Razzler's gotten off to a slow start this year offensively. Finds the back of the net here in the top corner. Off the bounce. It is a 4-2 game as Razzler gets on the scoreboard.
I feel like Brady Flynn, even though he didn't really score, I feel like he had a great strategy. He was configuring towards the X, and like he had great maneuvers. He kept, every single time he got the ball, he kept controlling the pace of the offense. I feel like that was a really good strategy for both Brady Flynn and the person that scored.
Josh Razzler.
Josh Razzler. He had a fantastic opportunity and decided to take it, and that's all that mattered.
Say Razzler's goal makes it a 4-2 Firebird lead. The first time either side has had a multi-goal lead in the game. Bobby Williams picks up the ground ball off the face-off, and immediately a timeout is called by the Raiders. Maybe not. It sounded like they were calling timeout, but they were just calling for one of their guys to sub off, that being Von Krieger. So no timeout, we're back into action. Santino Tiberio, the junior swing defenseman. Goes down low towards Walsh. Walsh had that one go in and out of his stick. But Walsh instead lofted it out of bounds, trying to make the save along the near side. And so it'll be Ryan Ball.
So far entering the second and continuing the second, it looks like Ghost has had the advantage towards keeping the ball towards them and trying to have a way to score, which has worked out as Ghost jumps to a 1-0 lead for the second quarter. Currently it's 4-2 right now for Ghost and Ryan.
Chris Dalton takes it across the midline. Dalton down low to Quinn Kennedy. And Kennedy around the back. Now towards Craig Webster. Webster, the return feed. Right back to Webster. Webster around the middle of the net. Trying to find a lane home. That one prevented for the moment. A shot and goal. Pat Foy is on the scoreboard. He goes between the legs of Cranley. It is a 4-3 ball game as Foy gets his first.
Beautiful execution from Ryan, especially Foley. He had a really good job executing the way how he wanted to score and ended up doing it in quite dominant fashion, if you ask me.
Yeah, Foy able to get one on net, had plenty of open space, and able to sneak one by Cranley. The first mistake Cranley's really made all game. 7:47 to play in the second is a 4-3 game as the Ryan Raiders cut the lead in half.
Cranley, in my opinion, he's done a really good job at defending the goal. He's done excellent. It's just that those three shots that really happened were just really tight and really hard positions to really guard. You can't really blame the guy on it because other than that, I'm pretty sure he has 5 saves right now currently. So that's pretty good, great for him currently. As we're currently 7 minutes and 40 seconds into the second quarter, not 7:40 remaining.
Mateo Chico takes the ball off the face-off for the Firebird offense. Chico coming off the game with 1 point and an assist. He floats that one up to Gardner. Gardner will trail back and wait for some new numbers around the logo. Razzler comes on, that's enough for him, and he goes down to Jude Walsh. All juniors at the top, 4 for the Firebirds, into Chico, Walsh, Razzler, and Gardner. But for right now, it's a Ryan Jr. taking it down and Connor McGuigan. McGuigan takes a shot at the logo. He's forced back. Damian Morgan picks it up. Morgan soft tosses to the top and Chris Dalton. Dalton back toward Morgan, who absorbs a hit and a diving attempt by Massimo Cialca, long pole midfielder. Cialca sees that one go out of bounds. Cranley loses a helmet, trying to race for the ball out of bounds. Tripped up by Craig Webster, who is credited for the race win, and he will inbound it as Cranley tries to put his helmet back on. We'll still have a stoppage of play. We have a wardrobe malfunction here for Cranley. And it looks like Cranley may have to come off. The officials are telling Cranley to come out of the net as his helmet came off, so protocol is the issue now for the Firebirds. And let's see who they put on. Their backup goaltender on the roster is Gavin McDonough, who has been on offense for most of the game.
Hopefully Gavin McDonough's defense can also...
So the Firebirds and Raiders resume play as McDonough subs off, and a timeout was yelled from the sideline by Ryan. So a quick stay in net for the Firebird emergency goaltender, who I don't even know who that is.
Not gonna lie, I have no idea what just happened. What was it? 2 goaltenders got subbed in and subbed out?
So Cranley, with a wardrobe malfunction, had to come off due to a helmet issue. So by rule, he must leave for 1 possession until the next whistle. And knowing that, the Firebird sideline makes a smart decision and calls timeout as soon as the game was back into play. So timeout was called by HGP. Cranley only out of the net for about 10 seconds. He'll be back in when we come back. It is a 4-3 game for HGP with 6:19 to go. Coming out of the Firebird timeout, which was their second of the half, it is the Raiders with possession. They quickly relinquish that, though, and so HGP is back on offense with 6 minutes to go. And now a broken stick for Orion Raider, as snapping his stick was Craig Webster. The top of the stick comes off, and so he'll have to go to the sideline for a change of equipment. Here's Tommy Walsh around the top corner of the box. Walsh luring Damian Morgan towards him. And Walsh now drops it off to Jake Gardner. Gardner out towards McDonough. McDonough to Gardner. Gardner right back to McDonough. Again, McDonough around the sideline, and it gets taken down, spins out of it, fires a shot, that one wide. He'll take 2 hops and go behind the net. And winning the race there out of bounds was Tom Donahue in net for the Raiders. And he beats both Brady Flynn and Jake Gardner. With that, Ryan will have possession. Slowly bringing it up is Chris Dalton. Dalton weaves by Flynn, trying to battle his way past Gardner. He will. Dalton's playing some physical offense, trying to get by Gardner, now being triple teamed. Fires one of the sidelines, played off his chest, Carter Buccello. Buccello towards the center, into Pat Foy, the most recent goal scorer in the game. Foy around the X. Foy into the open space, has that one deflected down. Swatted away by Chris Koprotowski. And Koprotowski, who takes the pass, is called for the violation, so Ryan back on offense.
Likewise, what I've been saying, I'm 100% sure that both teams have been playing great defense, although the score so far is not telling it. Besides those seven goals, I should say, they have really been playing some really great defense. It just sucks that the score is not really reflecting on it, because if you just look side by side per play, it really looks amazing the way how both Ryan and Ghost are scoring and defending.
Overall, it's been a very evenly balanced game on either side of the ball, for either side. Damian Morgan takes a shot on goal. That one goes behind the net. At the X, though, is Chris Dalton. Craig Webster brings it back in for the Raiders. Webster trying to weave around the defense, had that one on net, but off the leg of Cranley, it goes out of play. And win the race. There's Quinn Kennedy getting a second pass of the game. Kennedy between the logo and the top of the box, as that one played off of pads by Pat Foy. Foy and Kennedy around the top. Foy to Chris Dalton. Dalton takes a shot. That one's saved by Cranley. Trying to get his own rebound is Dalton. Ground ball is being made an air ball, still lofted up in the air. Chris Koprotowski eventually wins the battle, and the Firebirds have numbers. Koprotowski to McDonough. McDonough into open space. McDonough checks it down towards Flynn, and it's turned away for the moment. Scooted around and picked up by the Raiders. Taking a shot was McGuigan, but McGuigan hops back up. And now takes another shot as he fires a pass towards Pat Foy. McGuigan hovering around the logo now as Foy dropped the pass for the moment. Neither side can find it. Bobby Williams couldn't bring it in as the ground ball went even further away from him. Tommy Walsh lays a high hit. Walsh drives a man down, and that'll bring about a penalty on number 18, Tommy Walsh.
I was going to say earlier, Ghost had a perfect opportunity to go and make this gap of the score quite bigger. Currently, it's 4-3. It could have been 5-3, but an unfortunate turnover had to switch things around as Tommy Walsh got the penalty.
2:25 to play in the second. 4-3 Firebirds lead. It's the Firebirds' second penalty today. The Raiders have had one called on them as well. Bringing it in now is Ryan with Quinn Kennedy. Kennedy towards Foy. Foy fired that one also towards the middle, but it's picked off by the Firebirds. Here comes Razzler flying down on offense, all the way down, trying to go unassisted to Walsh. And the shot from Walsh bounced over the net.
Pretty sure it's Ghost Ball as Brady Flynn must have wanted to make the race. Not race, but run.
Yeah, it was Brady Flynn beating out the Ryan defender on the far side to keep it in play. Flynn beat out Bill Arnold, who's now in coverage at the top on Razzler. Razzler takes a shot up high in the shoulder. Razzler towards the middle, finds a Chico, and Chico is knocked down in the middle.
Great hustle by the Firebirds to retain possession.
It was a good hustle to Chico. Took a shot. A flag is now on the far side. And it'll be picked up now as the call goes against Ryan. Razzler goes into Flynn.
Brady Flynn has been controlling this offense, which is quite sensational if you ask me, for a freshman to have 2 goals in the first half. He's currently playing a fantastic game, and we hope he has a great second half.
Yeah, Flynn's been doing good. He just took a pass and gave it up to Razzler, whose shot went high over the net. Flynn wins the race out of bounds. He'll do it again here as McDonough sails wide. 1:05 and ticking to play in the second, pardon me.
Brady Flynn's currently looking like the MVP of this whole game so far. Great hustle, great scoring, and great everything. He has a perfect all-around game right now.
4-3 lead to turn into a 5-3 lead as I was talking, as Tommy Walsh puts the loose ball home. Beating Donahue in net. Is now a 5-3 game with 60 seconds to play as Walsh gets his first of the game. Under a minute to play in the first half. Face-off is won by Damian Morgan off the goal by Tommy Walsh. Here is Morgan. Morgan towards the middle. That one's knocked away. Ryan Lippy has it. Lippy towards the middle. What a catch by Mike Malpezzi to bring it back into his chest. Malpezzi towards the middle. Here's Flynn with the hat trick. What a sequence by the Firebird offense as Brady Flynn has a first half hat trick. 3 for number 22, and just 24 seconds after he gets the assist on the Tommy Walsh goal, he scores one of his own. It's a 6-3 lead for the Firebirds.
Within 40 seconds, man, 2 goals have been scored by Ghosts. I know I was crediting Ryan's defense, but it's so far nowhere to be shown, as Ghosts made 2 back-to-back goals, one from Brady Flynn and one from Thomas Walsh previously.
36 seconds to play in the first half. The Firebird sideline is starting to feel it now. 6-3 lead for the team in white. Holy Ghosts. Again, Ryan in their typical road black with the red trim. Winning that face-off is Chris Dalton. Has a goal of his own today. Dalton gets a shot on net, eaten up by Cranley. Cranley lofts that one down in the long pole midi. Bobby Williams. Williams in the middle to Walsh. Walsh took a shot. That one came out awkwardly off the stick. And now time maybe. It is indeed a timeout. So timeout is called by the Ryan Raiders. 6-3 lead for the Firebirds. They look to take the last shot of the first half when we come back with 10 seconds to go. 5 seconds added to the clock here in the first half as the Firebirds now with 5 seconds to go. Razzler to Jude Walsh. Walsh can't take a shot, not a clear look. He gets one on net, but it is ushered away by Tom Donahue. That is it for this second quarter. We're through 2. Firebirds lead it by 3, 6-3. And Syed, what are your thoughts on your first half of lacrosse?
Mind-boggling in my opinion. Ghost has been playing outstanding offense and outstanding defense. Currently, Brady Flynn is matching the whole Ryan score box. Ryan currently has 3 goals, or Brady Flynn has 3 goals. Brady Flynn has put out a sensational hat-trick by the end of the second quarter. That last sequence of the second quarter we have to talk about, where Tommy Walsh, after getting penalized, he scored, and then Brady Flynn comes right back with another one. How do you feel about that?
Right, that was 2 back-to-back goals. That is essentially definitely something that you get the momentum up. It was a 4-3 game for a long while before that, almost 9 minutes. And to have 2 quick goals in the final minute of play is a big boost if you are the Firebird offense going into halftime.
Currently, right now, as a commentator, I'm 0-2 right now. So to finally feel a high-scoring game by Ghost and currently winning, I hope this doesn't jinx my luck. I can't say I'm proud to commentate for Ghost.
So it has been a good first game for you overall. 6-3 lead for Holy Ghost over the Ryan Raiders through 24, with 24 more to come from the DAC.
Hey! 1
And we're back. 11:50 for the remaining of the third quarter. Currently 6-3 Ghost, and hopefully after a halftime, the question is, can Ryan come back from such adversity? As we saw from the end of the second quarter, Tommy Walsh and Brady Flynn had back-to-back goals, and that was pretty good for the Firebirds as they went from 4-3 to 6-3, becoming a tight game to almost a blowout. How do you see it?
Well, so far it's definitely a good momentum shift as the Firebirds have high-paced offense these first few seconds in the third. But obviously that Flynn and Tommy Walsh goal right back-to-back was a major momentum shift for them. And as you could hear at the end of the first half, it got their bench back into it. And so everyone on the Firebirds starting to feel the rhythm that the Firebird offense has set. And setting it up a shot right now for Flynn was Tuza, but neither one was able to reach the net. And so it's Ryan Ball as it goes out of bounds behind the net. As I had said, it's a 6-3 lead for HGP. 53 seconds have elapsed in this second and final half. Here is Chris Dalton. Dalton takes a shot from Razzler, takes a shot from Walsh, and toe taps the sideline. Bringing it back in towards the center where a stick is out. What a stick check by Tommy Walsh, knocking the stick out of Chris Dalton's hand. Dalton, though, winds up with the ball once again. Walsh fighting for the loose ball on the near side. Neither side wants to hold on to possession for the moment.
What
Here's
an
Tommy
aggression
Walsh.
by Tommy Walsh. He's so aggressive, and it's working for Firebirds. This is something that Tommy Walsh has definitely thought about.
What a shot by Walsh. That one will draw a penalty starting to erupt, but Walsh throws a shot up high, hitting the back of the helmet of Carter Buccello, which brings about a penalty. As you were saying, very physical defense there on the sideline as Walsh would bring in possession and retain it all the way down until getting to the offensive zone.
And that's something you really need from a guy like Tommy Walsh, who can provide great adversity. Sometimes you don't want to go too deep or you'll get penalized for it, but you want to provide at least some caliber defense at a point where you could scare your opponent and eventually win the game.
First penalty of the second half is called a minute and 27 seconds in. No, a minute 40 seconds in. And Pat Foy brings it back in for Ryan as the Firebirds are on a man down with Walsh on the sideline. Here is Chris Dalton. Dalton back to the top. Craig Webster and Pat Foy have played most of the game. They've gone back and forth. Webster, Foy, Dalton, that one wide. Chasing it down out of bounds is Quinn Kennedy. And Kennedy stumbled over his own attempt to make the save. And it'll be Firebird ball as Mike Malpezzi's in the corner with it. Malpezzi brings it in around the crease. Malpezzi had dropped it off to Cranley, so Cranley now heaves one across the midline to Bobby Williams. Williams up towards Pezzi. Now Pezzi through the box. Lofts one up towards Flynn behind the net. Flynn back to Razzler and across to Flynn. Brady Flynn along the sideline. Back to Razzler. They played pitching catch. That one shot, and it's wide. Off the stick of Tom Donahue.
Looking at the last three outings for Ghost, my apologies. Ghost won against Archbishop Wood on Monday. The score was 10-4 with, as you said earlier, Jude Walsh leading. And then we had a game against Pancras where we unfortunately lost by a wide margin to 3-16. And the game before that, we lost to Springfield Township by 5-9. So, by the way how Ghost is looking, they're obviously not looking to repeat the same previous deficits as they usually had. And hopefully by going for this game, they can hopefully boost up their momentum and try to win this game.
So the Firebirds are back on offense. And Chico takes the first shot, and that one goes wide. So, yeah, as you were saying, definitely a lot of shifting around in the schedule this year. Not many streaks for this Firebird team, which has tended to be streaky across multiple different sports. but hoping to start one here with Razzler from the logo. Razzler on net, he scores. Razzmatazz with 2 goals on the day. It's now a 4-goal lead, and the junior becomes the second Firebird with multiple on the board. 7-3 Firebirds on top with 8:13 to play.
This is looking to be not a very close game, as we saw. But previously, before that, it was 4-3. Then Tommy Walsh and Brady Flood managed to make it 6-3 before halftime, and now with Razzmatazz, as Kate Stewart likes to say, it's now 7-3. We currently have we have elapsed within 4 minutes of the third quarter, and we still have a quarter and a half left to play.
HGP has scored each of the last 3 goals and 5 of the last 6 in the game, as it was 2-2 early on. Now Pezio, one hand, able to knock that one away. A stick in one hand, able to get it in his stick. Takes it all the way down, looking for McDonough. It was underneath his stick. McDonough over the top, into the middle, being boxed away, and McDonough will go around the X to reset. But there was a lot of commotion in front of that Ryan net. McDonough to the top. Gardner is stumbling backwards, keeps his balance, and goes to Tommy Walsh. Walsh towards Jude Walsh now to the Raiders sideline. Pass back to the middle to McDonough. McDonough back to Jude Walsh around the top of the box. Walsh cutting it back in, has that one knocked away, picks it back up. Walsh towards down low, looking for Gardner, and that one knocked away off the ankle of Bill Arnold.
You can hear a lot of commotion, especially coming from the Ryan's bench, trying to make sure that Ryan shows adversity and tries to show the best quality defense that they can in order to surpass a win.
Yeah, either side has had a lot of energy today during different points in the game. The Firebird bench as well is now starting to get into it as their team is on offense. Here's McDonough. Off to Chico. Down low to Flynn and up to Tommy Walsh. Walsh to Chico. Chico out to Jude Walsh. To the middle, McDonough. McDonough on net. One bouncer, he scores. McDonough finally gets one through, and Tom Donahue couldn't get his stick up in time. It is now 6 of the last 7 in the game for the Firebirds, and McDonough gets his long-awaited first goal in his 6th shot attempt. It is an 8-3 game.
And what happened to the defense as soon as I made that comment in the first quarter? Seems like Ryan's not playing any defense and is just allowing Ghost to score at any opportunity that they can get.
McDonough becomes the 5th goal scorer today for the Firebirds. Flynn had a first half hat trick. Jude Walsh has 1. Tommy Walsh has 1. Razzler has 2, 1 in each half. And McDonough now becomes the 5th. For Ryan, it's been Damian Morgan, Pat Foy, and Chris Dalton in that order. But so far, they have come up empty in a wide range of possessions. Here's Connor McGuigan. He's taken a beating today. He would deserve a point. McGuigan to Chris Dalton. Dalton sends Liam Carr on net. Dalton's shot, that one goes high, is deflecting it off a stick, was Colin McCarthy. And McCarthy will sub off immediately after. New pair of legs to Santino Tiberio, the swing defenseman. Tiberio has it around the side. Here's Connor McGuigan. McGuigan to Quinn Kennedy. Kennedy takes 2 hits, a heck of a stick by Ryan Lippy. And that one found the shoulder pad of McGuigan. No flags fly though.
If I'm Ryan, and I have to go through this. I want us to have the ball majority of the time. I feel like throughout this whole third quarter, the reason why they haven't been scoring as much is because they've been so not to have a pun or anything, but more laxed on defense. They have to step up the aggression, in my opinion. They can't let no more goals to happen. As soon as another goal happens, it's pretty much wraps at this point. I can't expect Ryan to come back if the score is 9-3 as we are headed to Ghost's offense.
So Ryan Lippy and Chris Koprotowski made contact, and a stick snapped in half, that being Koprotowski's, and that being the sound that may have been heard on the broadcast. As the Ryan Raiders look to go back on offense, timeout is called from the sideline. 4:24 to play in the third. 8-3 Firebirds on top, and they have scored each of the last 4 in the match. .4:15 to play in the third. 8-3 lead for Ghost. Here's Chris Dalton. Dalton being pressured around the logo. Dalton has that one knocked away. Bobby Williams wins it.
Great defense by Bobby Williams.
Yeah, stealing the faceoff went away from Ryan, and Williams had that pass sail over the head of his intended target in McDonough. Brady Flynn's around the baseline, though, trying to chase it down and bring it back in. He's unable to. 2-on-1 disadvantage for him. Not much he can do with that. The Raiders are back on offense. That one is heaved down. And having it knocked out of play is Quinn Kennedy.
Last 3 home games for Holy Ghost is against Wissahickon, New Hope Salisbury, and Interborough. Let's hope Ghost can provide a great atmosphere for the home team and hopefully come adverse and take the win.
So McDonough trying to fight for the loose ball out in front of the net. A mosh pit of players for either side in front. And winning the race is Jaden McNichol. And McNichol tracks that one behind the net. He's going to loft that one up into no man's land. It's tipped away. Quinn Kennedy trying to fight for the ground ball. It's still loose around the center. And once again, loose underneath the stick of Connor McGuigan. McGuigan, though, with an opportunity. And Jacob Tuza takes the pass back up to the top. Tuza fires Tommy Walsh. That one off of the top of his stick and out of play. And Walsh made it himself for that one. It was a little bit awkward of a pass. 2:40 to play now in the third. Still a 5-goal lead for the Firebirds, who have begun to run away with it here late.
Another key point on why Ryan hasn't scored, in my opinion, is I believe Ghost has had very great transition defense into this third quarter. They have understood, like, even if they lose the ball, there's always multiple guys from the offense coming into the defensive side.
Damian Morgan, one of the 3 goal scorers today for Ryan, moving it down the field. A hold was being yelled from the sideline.
looked like someone's neck got stuck on the lacrosse stick or something. I don't know, but I saw something happen.
It was definitely a close call. The Ryan sideline is infuriated. It is now an over and back is called against the Ryan Raiders. HGP back on offense. It was Tommy Walsh who got sick a little bit up high on Damian Morgan.
And now
he scores. Sorry to interrupt, but Tommy Walsh now with his second goal of the game, coming out of transition, an unassisted goal from the top of the crease. It's his second of the game, as I said before. 9-3 lead for the Firebirds with 2:06 to play in the third.
At this point, it's looking like who can get the second hat-trick. Currently, Tommy Walsh has 2, and Raziaz, sorry if I did not pronounce that correctly, currently has 2 goals as well. So at this point, it's just like, hey, they're not playing any defense. Let me just score the ball at this point.
Yeah, Josh Rasler and Tommy Walsh, each with 2 on the day. Brady Flynn already has a hat trick, all 3 in the first half. DeChico filters that one out to Jude Walsh. Walsh fires a shot. That one's saved. DeChico tried to pick up the ground ball, rebound, went under his stick. It's up in the air. The Ryan Raiders have it, and they're forced to just loft one into almost no man's land. Lippi extends out and makes the play. His pass, though, in and out of the stick of DeChico, eats a hit. And DeChico back up to Williams.
Although Jude Walsh is not really having that high-scoring game he has had, he's had very great moments where he's passing the ball, making sure that the defense does not have an opportunity to get the ball, and I feel like that's been very great for Jude Walsh's side, although the stats may not say it.
So Williams fires to Jude Walsh, and as Sayed was talking, Jude Walsh gets his second goal of the game. He becomes the 4th Firebird today to have multiple, and it's now a 10-3 game as Walsh finds the bottom left corner of the net. So that's now 8 goals in the last 7 quarters of play for Jude Walsh. And we're not even through the third.
Okay, even though I did say that Jude Walsh didn't have a high-scoring game, he had a fantastic game last game, and I'm pretty sure that he's really happy with the amount of dominance that he's been showing throughout this game. So yeah, that's pretty nice to see.
So Colin McCarthy was a little surprised he was called for a face-off violation. He's forced to sub off. Quinn Kennedy wins the face-off for Ryan. A return feed to Quinn Kennedy, and back to Damian Morgan now. That one goes off the side of his stick. Morgan delivers a hit on McManus, and now McManus trying to move that ball back into the Fire offensive zone is whistled, and the Raiders have it.
So Jude Walsh in the last 2 games has amassed 8 goals, and we're not even through with the third quarter. We currently have 45 seconds left of playtime in this quarter, and then we're at a little break, and then we have the game to continue with for the last 12 minutes.
It's a 10-3 lead currently for the Firebirds. Jude Walsh, the latest goal scorer in the game, hence the 8-goal stat. Craig Webster around the X. Webster battling around the crease. He fires to Connor McGuigan. McGuigan back to Damian Morgan, and Morgan a one-bounce pass out to Pat Foy this time. Foy around the far side. Going around the official now, 14 seconds on the clock. Foy trying to get pressure towards the net. Cranley and DeChico teaming up to turn him away from Cranley's home. 2 seconds to play, 1 on the clock, and that will be it for the third. As the Firebirds dominate yet another quarter, they have scored 4 in a row, all 4 coming in the quarter. It is a 10-3 lead for Holy Ghost Prep.
I'm not going to lie, man. This whole quarter has just been all offense. No defense to show from Ryan's side. 4 goals is kind of hard to come back. Can Ryan really come back from this game? I doubt it at this point. It's 10-3. Originally, when we were looking at the first quarter, it was 2-1 at the time, I'm pretty sure, or maybe 2-2. I forgot. That's on me. But looking at this now, hopefully Ghost can keep up this lead and hopefully do not fall short.
So it would be a large task to surmount for Ryan. It's a 10-3 lead through 36 minutes of play. 12 more to come from the deck, and we'll be with you through all of it in just a moment. through 36 minutes and change of play here at Holy Ghost. Still waiting for the clock to begin in this fourth quarter here on the Holy Ghost Prep Jumbotron. Here's Bill Arnold. Arnold into the corner, has that one lofted up. And some technical difficulties in the scorer's table as the clock only just now starting.
Ryan, to start off the game, had a very good defensive strategy. They had 2 players on each offensive player. Currently, it hasn't really worked out right now. As you can see, the score is now 10-3. Originally, after the first half ended, it was 6-3. My apologies. But before that, it was 4-3. It sucks to see that Ryan cannot really outtake the Firebird, but what can you do against the Firebird?
Yeah, Connor McGuigan now trying to drive that one towards the net for Ryan. They're going to change the pace of this game, as I had said, with 4 consecutive goals for HGP. They have scored 8 of the last 9 in the game now. All 4 of those consecutive goals coming in the previous quarter. Here's McDonough taking a pass down. McDonough back down to Flynn, who has 3 goals of his own today, with that one in and out of his stick and around the X behind the net. The pass goes high, intended for Liam Card. Tommy Walsh got his stick on it, but not enough to bring in possession. Here's Craig Webster on the return. Webster to Foy. Foy on net, and that one saved by Cranley. Connor McGuigan took the shot on the pass from Foy, who is down behind the play. And we'll have some whistles as Foy was slow to get up. And a little bit of pause in the action. Firebirds have the ball. It's Seamus Cranley bringing it out of his crease. Cranley being chased from behind. He evades the strip, fires that one just too high for McDonough, and it'll go out of bounds along that sideline. McGuigan inbounds it back in and takes it up near the Firebird sideline. A hurdle, kinda, if you want to call it that. McDonough delivered a hit. Now he takes the ball away from McGuigan. And HGP back on now a slow-paced offense.
If you're a Ghost, do you want to keep up the pressure or do you want to slow things down? Clearly in the first quarter, it wasn't really working well when they had a very fast-paced offense, but slowly and slowly, as the game started to ascend, the fast-paced offense had actually worked for Firebirds, scoring 8 consecutive goals.
HGP back up on offense with Walsh. Walsh fires a shot, that one wide of the net. And Brady Flynn will bring it back in on the inbounds. Flynn towards McDonough. McDonough by the sideline. Over near the net. McDonough spins. Shot,
and
scores! McDonough, the 5th Firebird to have multiple goals on the board today. All 5 goal scorers for the Firebirds with 2 or more. McDonough to the top of the post, just below the crossbar to beat Tom Donahue. 11-3 Firebirds on top.
At this point, if you're Ryan, you're looking at, man, what do I want to eat for dinner at this point? Because this game is officially close. I don't see any way Ryan can come back from an 8-goal deficit, especially after those 2 goals to end off the first half, and now to start with the third quarter, they had 4 goals at the end. Now this goal is looking impossible for Ryan to catch up.
The 8-goal deficit is going to be even harder to surmount as the Raiders went scoreless through the first 2.5 minutes of play here in the fourth. Bobby Williams up near the top. He goes back to Colin McCarthy, who stays on the field for a little while now. McCarthy evading some defensive pressure and drops it off to Jude Walsh. Walsh, McDonough, he wants a hat trick himself. They both do, actually, and that shot laid down by Walsh and knocking over Von Krieger was the team of Walsh and McDonough. Here's DeChico. DeChico towards Jude Walsh. Walsh back towards DeChico. DeChico towards Flynn. Flynn to McDonough. And McDonough up to the top to Mason Deanna. Deanna to Walsh. Raiders with the ball in the corner. And being pressured away back on offense is Damian Morgan. Morgan has that one knocked away. Swatted at and trying to fight for the ball now. The Firebirds.
Great defense by the Firebirds.
That was good defense. Jude Walsh has to dive out and try to make a steal. He cannot. And so the Ryan Raiders capitalize on the miscommunication with Jaden McNichol. McNichol, though, goes down low. It'll go out of play, and the Firebirds are back on offense with Chris Kopertowski. Kopertowski lost one toward Lippy. Lippy to Bobby Williams. Williams. That one's knocked away. Picked up by Damian Morgan.
Great defense by Morgan as well.
Morgan has that one stolen by Walsh. Walsh towards the net. Maybe more to a pass toward Flynn. But either way, does not hit either the stick or the net. It'll go out the back. And it'll be brought back in by Jaden McNichol. Here's Carter Buccello. Buccello through the midline. That one's picked off by Kopertowski, and a timeout is called by the Firebird sideline. So HGP will go over things with 6:55 to play in the fourth and probable final quarter of play here. 11-3, HGP on top. They start to slow the pace down. .6:45 to play in regulation here at Holy Ghost Prep. It's an 11-3 lead for the Firebirds. Jake Gardner trying to extend to that. Gardner has that one knocked away. Here comes Ryan fighting through the defense is Damian Morgan. Morgan in open space moves that one forward to Craig Webster. And Webster right back. He is down though. And Webster took a shot and he'll stay up for the moment.
He's limping though.
Yeah, Craig Webster visibly limping, as most of the two teams will take knees. injury timeout. With 6:23 to play in the fourth, we'll take a break with them. It is currently the Firebirds 11, the Raiders 3, and we'll take a check up on Craig Webster. Coming out of the break, it's the Raiders now with possession. Staying on the field is Craig Webster, who we saw limp off to end the last possession, but he's back on. Seems to be at full strength, not really nursing any side.
Great heart by Webster, by the way.
Especially in a blowout game like this. He probably does not have to stay in the game necessarily for the Ryan Raiders, but even then, fighting through the pain to stay in there, down by 8. Here is McDonough. He stepped out of bounds, no call though. And probably that's McManus, so Dylan McManus stepped out of bounds, but no call. Here's Walsh. Walsh to Walsh on the pass. Jude Walsh tried to sell it back to Tommy, but no one bought it. Tommy Walsh bringing it back through the top of the box. On net. Walsh boxed away. Over the top, one bounce shot. And it sails over the net of Donahue into the corner and bringing it back out as HGP. Razzler centering feed. That one knocked down. Thought it was in his stick, that being Jaden McNichol. It was not. It was loose out in front. The ground ball's away. Ant Conti got a stick on it. And Brady Flynn eventually crowds it back in. There's a centering feed. That shot is saved as Flynn wanted to add an assist to his resume on the day as Jacob Tuza whipped that one on net. Under 5 to play in regulation. 11-3 HGP on top.
I got a question for you, Keaton.
All right.
Who do you got scoring the next hat trick?
Next hat trick?
Yep.
For
currently it's 2. Every single person that has scored so far has more than 1 goal. With Brady Flynn having the most with 3, Tommy Walsh and Jude Walsh having 2, and I believe Razzer and McDonough having McDonough. Yeah, they both have 2. You got any between all those 4 people? Who you got scoring a hat trick?
If anyone's going to score it today, I'd say probably Jude Walsh. He's been on an absolute heater. He has scored goals in each of the last 6 quarters and has 8 over his last 7. 4.5 to play in this one, looking to get his second hat trick in a row, coming off a 6-goal performance against Archbishop Wood in the last live stream. 11-3 lead right now, with 4.5 to go, as previously mentioned, for Walsh to possibly do that.
You know, since you picked Jude Walsh, I'm going to go ahead and pick Tommy Walsh. Even though they're not related or anything, it just feels right to pick the different Walsh.
All right. Pat Foy whips one on net. That one's saved on a hop by Cranley. Cranley towards the middle. That one's picked up by Malpezzi. Here comes Malpezzi sprinting down the middle into open space. Malpezzi, a wind-up shot. That one's saved. Donahue gets his leg on it. It pops back out, and then Ryan's back on top of it with Liam Carr. Carr down the sideline by the Firebird bench. Takes the hit up high. Carr towards the middle to Quinn Kennedy. Kennedy bounces off a hit. Underneath shot. That one's eaten up by Cranley. A one-on-none disadvantage for Cranley, and it means nothing as Quinn Kennedy was turned away at the doorstep. Cranley lofts that one to Bobby Williams, trying to bring it in an over-the-shoulder fashion, but unable to do so. He crowds on the second attempt, though, and Williams up to Tommy Walsh. Or pardon me, Malpezzi. And Malpezzi dodges a diving Damian Morgan. Malpezzi drops it back to Josh Rasler. Rasler around the near side. With some stick checks, bounces off one into open space. He finds his classmate in Jude Walsh. Jude Walsh out to Tommy Walsh by the Firebird sideline. Under 3 to go in regulation here. Tommy Walsh down the Firebird bench. Walsh towards the middle. That one knocked away. Brady Flynn was on it, but it just ended out of his stick. And HGP back on top. Walsh whips that one. That one saved off the stick of Donahue.
Currently, almost 10 minutes have elapsed from this quarter, and it looks like the game is about to end regulation. I doubt, 100% sure that the game is not going in overtime. I'm pretty sure everyone's going to be able to go home after this game. Well, after this quarter, I should say.
DeChico fires to Walsh around the logo. Walsh a one bounce pass to Josh Rasler. Rasler in and out of his stick twice, 3 times. And it's a turnover for the Firebirds as Rasler, a little bit of butterfingers there with the ball. Here's Connor McGuigan. Stick check laid on him. But picked back up to Jaden McNichol.
What I appreciate about Rasler is that even though he did cause that turnover, he got right back to defense. No holding back, even when a blowout is happening.
So McGuigan back to Foy. And we've seen some toughness, mental toughness and physical toughness from both sides as we previously mentioned, Craig Webster staying on the field and even in a blowout deficit for Ryan after coming off limping. Here's a shot on goal. That one saved by Cranley. He's made a lot of them in the second half, has not allowed a goal during these final 24 minutes of play after allowing 3 in the first. 90 seconds to play in the fourth quarter, and an all but certain the game. Chico brings it across midfield. Puts that one up in the air. It's caught by Rasler. In and out of his stick twice again, though. Rasler trying to spin around Liam Carr. He's pressured by the corner. Rasler around the X. Into open space. Rasler to the middle. Shot and goal. It's Jake Gardner once again. It's his 3rd in 2 games. And Gardner puts the final nail in the coffin for the Firebird victory. It's a 12-3 lead for the home team. And Jake Gardner adds himself to the list of now 6 different Firebirds to score goals in the game. Brady Flynn had a first half hat trick. Jude Walsh has 2. Rasler has 2. Tommy Walsh has 2. Gavin McDonough with 2. And now Jake Gardner, as we said before, the 6th different Firebird to find the back of the net with his first. Here's Tommy Walsh. Walsh tried to go to Kopertowski, but neither side able to cleanly bring it in. Kopertowski along the Firebirds side has that one knocked away, stick-to-stick contact.
Is that a 4v1 for a second?
It is a 4v1. That was lofted towards the net. The Firebirds are going to capitalize. A weird bounce on the pass from Flynn to Walsh. Walsh now to that's the wrong team. Colin McCarthy with 20 seconds to play. McCarthy subs off. Hovering around the top of the key with the ball is Jude Walsh. Under 10 seconds to play, and Walsh will let the clock run out. One last pass, but that will be it from the deck. Some physicality to end the game here. But that will officially end it. Holy Ghost Prep with a dominant 12-3 win over Archbishop Ryan. They have won back-to-back games by 6 or more goals after defeating Wood 10-4 and a good-looking turnaround late in this Firebirds season as they hope to make a playoff push. Now at 6-7 overall.
If you ask me, this has to be the best game that Holy Ghost Prep has played as long as they're not facing the other teams that they had faced, such as Pencrest, where they had unfortunately lost 3-16. As they look to cross over 500 and into 500, the real question is, can Firebirds make the playoffs? My prediction is yes, they can make the playoffs. Hopefully, they do have a pretty tight schedule, it looks like, with 3 home games and 2 away games left, and hopefully looking for the best for the Firebirds.
Yeah, it's a 12-3 victory today over Archbishop Ryan, beating the 2 local Archbishops, Wood and Ryan, in back-to-back games. And as we said before, 6 different Firebirds finding the back of the net. That is certainly an important statistic to look at. A very plentiful scoring diversity here. Flynn with his first hat trick as a member of the Firebird Varsity Lacrosse roster. All 3 of his goals coming in the first half, Jude Walsh with 2, Razzler with 2, and Tommy Walsh with 2, each one scoring 1 in each half. Gavin McDonough had 2 in the second, and Jake Gardner caps the game off with a last-minute goal to make it a 12 total for HGP.
And Brady Flynn, who had a hat trick, managed to match the score that Ryan had scored throughout the first half. They had absolutely no shot of winning the game as soon as it was 6-3, in my opinion, and obviously my opinion was correct because it was a 12-3 victory for Firebirds.
Yeah, Ryan also with 3 goal scorers of their own. Damian Morgan, Pat Foy, and Chris Dalton in that order, all scoring 1. So with that scoring recap, Syed has to go. So Syed, just one last quick thoughts on your overall first game. First game for Lacrosse.
For Lacrosse, I'm not going to lie. Now I'm 1-2 as a commentator as I'm watching the Firebirds play. And when they were playing soccer, I was 0-2 while watching, and now it feels great to finally see a Firebirds victory while commentating on the game. An overall standout dominant performance by both Brady Flynn, Jude Walsh, and Razzer, Jude Walsh, McDoon, and I forgot who scored the last goal. That's my apologies. Jay Gardner. A standout dominance from Firebirds. Now the real question is hopefully that they can add Verse away from under 500. They have a pretty good schedule looking ahead, 3 home, 2 away, and I'm basically just repeating myself. But hopefully Firebirds can just win, yeah.
Yeah, very positive outing today for Holy Ghost. We'll see JV come up next, but unfortunately that one will not be live streamed as we will end this one here from the Duane Athletic Complex. From the deck, I'm Caden Stewart signing off for me and
I'm Syed Nakfi.
There you go. Yeah, signing off for me and Syed and everyone else behind the scenes, I'm Caden Stewart. Thank you all for listening and have a good night.
Holy Ghost Prep ties it up.
Holy Ghost is on the move.
Yeah, Firebirds had a lot of momentum.
Right from the jump for the Firebirds, who look really good.